Sorry, there is a disruption going on here. I'm really very sorry. Uh, so in the first part, in aphorism number 17, we have told that the totality or the internal changes and the external changes are nothing but the disease itself, and that the disease is being known by the external manifestation, and that is the totality of symptom. Okay, and in the next part, Hahnemann again is repeating about the mission. You will see a glimpse of the first aphorism. Okay, in first aphorism, Hahnemann is telling about high and only mission of the physician, and in this here note the highest and the sole aim. Underline that. And again a glimpse of theoretic medicine, that he of the physician who knows the true object of his mission, which consists not in learned sounding prating, but in giving aid to the sick. Okay, not in learning sounding prating means that is not in theoretic medicine, not giving hyper philosophical explanation of a disease, hyper pathological explanation of a disease, but it is in giving aid to the patient. Okay, so this aphorism consists two part. First part is already dealing with the internal and external changes are nothing but the disease itself, and the removal of it is indicating the removal of the disease. Okay, now aphorism number 18. Please read aphorism number 18.
From this indubitable truth that besides the totality of the symptoms, nothing can by any means be discovered in diseases wherewith they could express their need of aid. It follows undeniably that the sum of all the symptoms and conditions in the sixth edition, in each individual case of disease, must be the sole indication, the sole guide to direct us in the choice of remedy.
Underline totality of symptoms, and you will get a footnote, a note here in the sixth edition with consideration of accompanying modalities. We have discussed this before, that with along with the totality of symptoms, you have to consider that accessory circumstances, accompanying modalities, which is the patient's surrounding, which is the all the seven thing Hahnemann have already discussed, that accompanying modalities, accessory circumstances. Even if you are forming the totality of symptoms and not looking at the accessory symptoms, accessory circumstances, you are not going to make a cure. Okay, because that may be hindering your cure. Okay, so totality of symptom along the concentration with the consideration of the accompanying modalities, we have discussed it in detail, so we are not going in it now. Underline sum of all the symptoms, sum of all the symptoms and conditions, bracket in bracket, that includes and condition, symptoms and condition. Nothing can be more to be removed in disease. You are not prescribing on the basis of pathology. Now here the sum of all the symptom will again create a misunderstanding that this portrait of disease, totality of disease, where you are going to remove the totality of disease or the portrait of disease. So it is for the language sake, Hahnemann is using here the sum of all the symptom, but he is meaning by the totality of the symptom. It may not include all the symptoms. Okay, that aphorism number 67, remember that footnote, accidental symptoms. There may be some symptoms which is not being covered by our medicine, but that are not of marked nature. Okay, so we are not considering them, but totality is considering all the well marked symptoms and forming the totality. So for all the practical purpose, we are taking portrait of disease and totality of symptoms as one and same, but for theoretical or academical discussion, we are telling that portrait of disease is this sum of all the symptoms and totality, what is coming out of it. Okay, we are saying we have given the example of Gandhiji's portrait, that the portrait, whole portrait is the portrait of disease, a portrait, the collection of whole picture of Gandhiji is indicating Gandhiji, as well as his specs, his lati and his dhoti is enough to indicate Gandhiji. Okay, this is coming out from that only. Let me give you here that this is the total. Okay, and it is reflecting totality. Okay, if you can get this only, which is referring the whole. Okay, this is, you can get your medicine from this portrait of disease whole, and still you are getting your medicine from a bit well marked symptoms. Okay, well marked symptoms which is coming out of this, which is coming out of this. This is called totality of symptom. Okay, so if you are considering this totality of symptom, it is nothing but the part of the portrait of disease, and you can say this sum of all the symptom is totality of symptom, or reflecting the totality of symptom, or totality of symptom is reflecting the sum of all the symptom. Okay, and in the main point of discussion here in the aphorism number 18, that if you are able to remove totality of symptom, you are removing the disease. Okay, the main point of discussion is here, with the consideration of accompanying modalities, with the consideration of accessory circumstances and other conditions, which we have dealt in detail before, and we have given the aphorism numbers also to that. Aphorism number 20894, okay, and aphorism number 7, aphorism number 5, where this have been discussed. Okay, and the sole indication, underline this, sole indication, totality is the sole indication. Okay, underline accompanying modalities, okay. Now go to aphorism number 19.
Now, as diseases are nothing more than alterations in the state of health of the healthy individual, which express themselves by morbid signs, and the cure is also only possible by a change to the healthy condition of the state of health of the diseased individual, it is very
Underline this.
evident.
Underline this. Diseases are nothing more than the alternation in the state of health. Okay, always remember this, state of alteration of a state of health consists of two parts, internal part and external part. Okay, so underline this, diseases are nothing more than the alternation in the state of health which expresses themselves by the morbid signs. You can here include the symptoms also, but signs is enough. So you need to understand that the language, you cannot take the language as it is. The symptom is missing here, so you cannot be lakir ka fakir that the symptoms are not here. You have to consider it literally present here, signs and symptoms. Okay, morbid signs and symptoms is there, it is understandable. Okay, diseases itself expresses alteration in the state of health, in which plane both the internal and externally manifested by signs and symptoms, and internal there is a change which we need not to consider, which we need not to give much of our attention. Okay, so this is alteration of health, and this cure can only be possible by altering this state. Okay, and the cure is only possible by change to healthy condition of the state of health of the diseased individual, and cure is only possible if you want to cure, you have to change this state of health to the cure. Okay, now next.
It is very evident that medicines could never cure diseases if they did not possess the power of altering man's state of health, which depends on
Underline,
sensations and
underline this.
functions.
Underline this. The power of cure in the medicine lies in its altering of state of health. Okay, suppose you are taking balu, okay, balu, sand. You are taking sand. Okay, it is not possessing the power of altering your health. You are taking clay until and unless it is potentized. That is another thing. You are taking clay. Okay, it is not possessing the power of altering your health. Okay, because it is an inert substance, not going to. You are taking some sort of potato. Okay, potatoes are being called as non-medicinal substance. You are taking rice. It is not going to. You are taking sacklac. Okay, simple sacklac. It is not going to alter your state of health. It is not going to produce headache. It is not going to produce redness of the eyes. It is not going to produce anything. Okay, so this you cannot call a medicine. Medicine is a medicine by virtue of its power to alter the state of health. Okay, so number one point here to be noted: medicine could never cure disease if they did not possess the power of altering man's state of health. What is disease? Alter state of man's health. Okay, so it should possess a power of altering man's health. Okay, next.
Man's state of health, which depends on sensations and functions. Indeed, that their curative power must be owing solely to this power, the process of altering man's state of health.
Okay, so their curative power means whose curative power? Medicine's curative power.
Medicine.
Okay, now Hahnemann is going on to explaining the medicine. Okay, knowledge of medicine, knowledge of disease has been discussed. We have told that whole of the aphorisms of Organon can be taken as the expoundation of the aphorism number 3 in two parts: in the theoretical part, in the practical part. In the theoretical part, Hahnemann is again discussing, have given the summary of, in aphorism number 3, have given the summary that knowledge of disease, knowledge of medicine, this and that is needed. Now again, knowledge of disease has been discussed in general, in particular, whatever it may be. Individualization have also been discussed, individualization. Now knowledge of medicine is coming. So it is, you can say, it is the bhumika of knowledge of medicine which is coming, preamble of knowledge of medicine which is coming forth. How to acquire this knowledge of medicine and what is this knowledge of medicine? The first thing you need to understand that those substances are medicine. Those substances are medicine which is possessing the power of altering man's health. Okay, so underline last line: owing solely to their power, they possess of altering man's health. Okay, now drug proving started 20 to 21. How to know the in particular knowledge of medicine, in particular, how to know the knowledge of medicine in particular. By the way, I want you to ask question: how to know the knowledge of disease in particular?
Case takings.
Very good. I am glad that you have remembered. Okay. Now, thus knowledge of the knowledge of medicine in particular is acquired by the drug proving. Okay. So aphorism number 20 and aphorism number 21 is regarding drug proving. So go on.
This spirit-like power to alter man's state of health and hence to cure diseases, which lies hidden in the inner nature of medicines, can never be discovered by us by a mere effort of reason. It is only by experience of the phenomena it displays when acting on the state of health of man that we can become clearly cognizant of it in itself in this
Okay.
explanation.
Underline hidden in the inner nature of medicine. Hidden in the inner nature of medicine. So we have, yesterday we have discussed about simple substances. Have we not? What is simple substance? Kent have said that every living or non-living organism has a dynamic element in it. Okay, and we have told that these substances, even if it is non-living, possessing a dynamic element in it. Okay, that is the hidden in the nature of medicine. Spirit-like power, underline, hidden in the inner nature of medicine. That is a simple substance for the medicine. We have discussed about the three dynamics of homeopathy. That is the dynamics of medicine, dynamics of the vital force, and dynamics of the disease. Okay, so this is the simple substance of medicine. Remember, we often confound that simple substance is vital force. No, it is not. Vital force is a kind of simple substance. Okay, you often have been asked question in your examination that what is simple substance, and we are telling that it is a vital force as termed by Kent, but it is not true. Simple substance is the hidden dynamic power of any organism or living or non-living, any substance, there is a hidden power, okay, that we are calling spirit like power hidden in that. And vital force is a type of simple substance present in the human being. Okay, vital force is a type of simple substances present in the human being. But medicine is also having simple substance, that is the spirit like power. And by the potentization we are just awakening that power. Okay, and some medicines are like that, even in crude state they are possessing the power of altering man's health. Okay, even in the crude state. And some medicines are there like silesia, lycopodium, which have to be potentized before it can be termed as medicine. Okay, give me a second. Okay, we are back again. So hidden in inner nature, and that in what sense it is, in what kind it is altering man's health. Every medicine is altering man's health in its own peculiar nature. That is the individualization of medicine. Okay, so go to aphorism number 119. Go to aphorism number 119. Read it.
As certainly as every species of plant differs in its external form, mode of life and growth, in its taste and smell from every other species and genus of plant, as certainly as every mineral and salt differs from all others, in its external as well as its internal physical and chemical properties, which alone should have suffered to prevent any confounding of one with another, so certainly do they all differ and diverge among themselves in their pathogenetic, consequently also in their therapeutic effects. Each
Underline
of these
this.
substances,
So certainly, though they all differ, they are differing in the external form, they are differing in the taste, chemical properties, all this. So they are differing in pathogenetic power, consequently also in therapeutic power. What is pathogenetic power? This is the disease producing power. Okay, pathogenetic power, it is the disease producing power. Okay, and therapeutic power, it is the disease curing power. Write it there. Write it there. Pathogenetic power, disease producing power. A therapeutic power, disease curing capacity, disease curing power. Okay, so next.
same aphorism.
Same aphorism. Next.
Each of these substances produces alterations in the health of human beings in a peculiar, different, yet determinate manner, so as to preclude the possibility of confounding one with another.
Underline this line. Alteration in health begins in being in a peculiar, different yet determinate manner. Okay, peculiar, different yet determinate manner. Okay, so each drug is producing its own peculiar effect. Okay, now go back to our 19 number aphorism. So how to ascertain this? This cannot be ascertained by mere reasoning. that this is red and will be affecting the blood, this is yellow and will be affecting the liver. That not by mere reasoning, but by experimenting, okay, and seeing the phenomena on the healthy human being. Aphorism number 118, complete that. Aphorism number 118, a short aphorism. Please go to that and read that also.
Every medicine exhibits peculiar actions on the human frame, which are not produced in exactly the same manner by any other medicinal substance of a different kind.
Okay, and here a footnote, you will get a mention of surrogate. Okay, one medicine cannot be replaced by other. There is no surrogate in homeopathy. Okay, I think here it is only, no, it is 119, not 118, it is 119. Okay, surrogate, there is no surrogate in homeopathy. One medicine cannot be replaced by other. Okay, so now come back to aphorism number 21.
Now, as it is undeniable that the curative principles in medicine is not in itself perceptible, and as in pure experiments with the medicines conducted by the most accurate observers, nothing can be observed that can constitute them medicines or remedies except that power of causing distinct alterations in the state of health of the human body, and particularly in that of the healthy individual, and of exciting in him various definite morbid symptoms. So it follows that when medicines act as remedies, they can only bring their curative property into play by means of this, their power of altering man's state of health by the production of peculiar symptoms. And that,
Underline this.
therefore,
Underline this from here. Medicine act as remedy. Medicine act as remedy. They can only bring their curative property into play by means of this, their power of altering man's state of health by production of peculiar symptoms. Okay. Now, second line, pure experiments conducted by the most accurate observer. Okay, this is actually the introduction to drug proving. Next, and that therefore we have only to rely on the morbid phenomena. Underline this. We have only to rely on the morbid phenomena which medicine produces on the healthy body as the possible revelation of their indwelling, underline this, indwelling curative power. Indwelling curative power, in order to learn what disease producing power is that. Indwelling curative power, in order to learn what disease producing power. And at the same time, this is the disease curing power. Underline disease curing power. Indwelling curative power, disease producing power, disease curing power. Pathogenetic effect, therapeutic effect. Okay. Each individual medicine poses. So this is the introduction to actually drug proving, how to ascertain the pathogenetic power of medicine. And this pathogenetic power of medicine, what is pathogenetic power of medicine? Disease producing power. What is disease producing power? It is the power of medicine of altering the man's health. It is the power possessed by a medicine of altering man's health. What is disease? Disease is alteration of man's state of health. Okay. So we are looking for a substance which can alter the man's state of health, and we are getting medicine. How to ascertain that which medicine is posing the power of altering man's health, in which manner? By the drug proving. Okay, and this altering man's health is disease producing power, and this is in fact the disease curing power also. Okay, when medicine is acting as remedy, when medicine is acting as remedy, they are bringing the curative power also. Now a question arises that you may ask, that's a medicines have thousands of symptoms. Okay, one medicines have thousands of symptoms. Okay, like in Nux vomica itself, you will get, I'm telling, in Materia Medica Pura, you will get around 1300 symptoms. Okay, listen carefully. In Nux vomica, in Materia Medica Pura, you are getting 1300 symptoms. Okay, you may ask that, sir, if you are giving medicine to a sick person, you are not necessarily getting all 1300 symptoms in that person. Okay, say you have got only 30 symptoms. Now, how can you be assured that other, you have get 30 symptoms, other 1270 symptoms will not come in that person? Okay, how you can be assured of that? क्वेश्चन आ रहा है ना दिमाग में कि हमें नक्स वोमिका में
Yes,
1300
sir.
सिम्टम्स, ओके 1300 सिम्टम्स नक्स वोमिका में प्रूविंग में आया है, एंड देयर इज 30 symptoms in a patient and you are giving nux vomica, and in that you are not getting 1270 symptoms, because it will start proving. So why it is not so? Why it is not so? Any answer you can give? Any answer you are getting in your mind?
Is it due to susceptibility? Being susceptible
What?
to that symptom?
You are on the path. You are on the path. Right path. Explain it a bit more.
Um, I can't.
Okay. Go to aphorism number 159.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is talking about the small doses. Okay. You are getting a homeopathic aggravation. How many types of aggravations are there in homeopathy?
I think 3.
Okay. Very good. What are those?
Medicine, disease, and homeopathic.
Very good. Medicine, disease, and homeopathic. Okay. Now tell me, what is medicinal aggravation?
The symptoms produced due to medicine. Sorry, sir, it's not that clear to me.
Yes, the symptoms which are coming, that we have told that Nocromica
Medicinal
having
symptoms.
1300 medicines, 1300 symptoms, and you are giving for 30 symptoms. And if you, after giving, you are getting now around 40 to 50 symptoms. Okay, what are those? Where from those symptoms are coming? From the inhalation, from the ingestion of that medicine, is it not?
It may
The
be from
symptoms,
inside too.
new symptoms may be from inside, but you have to, when a patient is complaining of new symptoms, okay, you have to confirm with the materia medica of your drug. You have given nux vomica, and patient is telling, I am having this ineffectual of urging. That you know that this is the symptom of nux vomica, and it is coming due to my dose was not too small, it was too large. Okay, I have given medicine in too large. If you are getting some symptoms which you cannot recall from your brain, open materia medica and you will see that that symptom is present in the proving of that medicine. Okay, so this was medicinal aggravation. Okay, so why it is generally not happening? Number one is the smallest of those. Smallness of those, it is not happening. Okay, we are using small doses, so it is generally not happening. If medicinal aggravation is happening, it is due to the large doses or too frequent or frequent repetition of the doses. So this was happening due to this. Generally this is not happening because, number one, the moderate dose. Number two, what you have already told, that the susceptibility. Okay, So again, go to this medicine act as remedy. When medicine act as remedy, they can only bring their curative property into play. Okay, what is curative? What was needed in that case? That symptoms will only come. Now go to aphorism number 155. Okay, read it.
I say without any considerable disturbance, for in the employment of this most appropriate homeopathic remedy, it is only the symptoms of the medicine that correspond to the symptoms of disease that are called into play, the former
Underline
occupying
this.
the place of the
Underline
latter.
this. When medicine, this line, underline up to, when medicine is acting as remedy, when medicine is acting as remedy, what symptoms are coming into play? Only those symptoms which are corresponding to the symptom of disease. Okay. Now next.
The former occupying the place of the latter, weaker in the organism, that is, in the sensation of the life principle in the sixth edition, and thereby annihilating them by overpowering them. But the other symptom of the homeopathic medicine, which are often very numerous, being in no way applicable to the case of disease in question, are not called into play at all. The patient
Underline this.
growing
Underline this. Not called into play at all. Why it is so? We will discuss.
the patient
Next.
growing hourly better feels almost nothing of them at all, because the excessively minute dose requisite for homeopathic use is much too weak to produce the other symptoms of the medicine that are not homeopathic to the case. In those parts of
Underline
the
this.
body that are
Up to excessively minute dose, from excessively minute dose to in those part of disease that are in those part of disease body that are free from disease, up to this. Next.
and consequently can allow only the homeopathic symptoms to act on the parts of the organism that are already most irritated and excited by the similar symptoms of the disease, in order that the
Underline
sick
this.
life principle.
This is susceptibility you are talking about. This was the susceptibility of that particular part. Okay, all the part are not susceptible. So medicines are, because of its minutest. Okay, because of its minutest dose, it is acting on the most weakest part. Other parts are healthy. Other parts are to some extent healthy, and the minuteness, because of the minuteness of the dose, it is acting on the more susceptible part and exciting the symptom in that only. Okay, next.
Should I read that in bracket too?
Yes, yes.
In order that the sick life principle may react only to a similar but stronger medicinal disease, whereby the original malady is extinguished in the sixth edition, thus changing the morbid affection of the vital force into a similar but stronger medicinal disease, whereby the original malady is extinguished.
Okay,
Done.
so two reasons were there. Only the curative, why 1300 symptoms are there, and other symptoms you are getting patient in patient 30 symptoms and other symptoms are not coming into play. This is because of this only, the minuteness of dose and the susceptible part of the organism. Okay, these are correlated with each other. The minuteness of the, if the medicine is giving in large doses, it will produce symptoms even in the parts which are not susceptible to that, even in those parts which are not disease, that we are calling medicinal aggravation. Okay, clear? So underline that here. When medicine act as remedy, they can only bring their curative property into play, only bring their curative property into play, and give this reference here, so that when you are reading later on 155, give reference of 155 and 159. Okay, give reference here. Now go to aphorism number 22. Acha, this is a punching aphorism. Before, Hahnemann have discussed about the knowledge of medicine. Okay, what comes next? Knowledge of its application. Okay, what comes next? Knowledge of its application. Now from here, the knowledge of application, how to apply. Okay, in which sense it should be applied. Okay, homeopathically, allopathically, antipathically, in what potency, what should be our attitude towards the application. So this is the punching aphorism between the application of the knowledge of between the knowledge of drug and knowledge of application of it. Okay, knowledge of medicine and knowledge of application of it. So it is a punching aphorism between this. After this, the knowledge of application started. Okay, the third knowledge discusses in the aphorism number 3 was how to apply it. Okay, knowledge of disease, knowledge of medicine, and how to apply it. That is the repetition, the doses, and all those. Okay, so go on reading this.
But as nothing is to be observed in diseases that must be removed in order to change them into health, besides the totality of their signs and symptoms, and likewise medicines can show nothing curative besides their tendency to produce morbid symptoms in healthy persons and to remove them in diseased persons. It follows,
Okay,
on the one hand,
wait here. Totality of disease, totality of medicine. Okay, you can sum up this line: totality of disease, totality of medicine. Next.
it follows on the one hand that medicines only become remedies and capable of annihilating diseases because the medicinal substance, by exciting certain effects and symptoms, that is to say, by producing a certain artificial morbid state, removes and abrogates the symptoms already present, to wit, the natural morbid state we wish to cure.
Okay, just mark that. I want you to mark this, that there is no mention of similar symptoms. Okay, there is no mention of similar or opposite symptoms. Just mark this. This is the way of Hahnemann's dealing, that he will open up the option. Now he will go on cutting that options. Allopathic, should we apply it allopathic manner? Should we apply in antipathic manner? Should we apply it in homeopathic manner? Just he's talking about applicability of medicine. Okay, medicines only become remedies. Underline this: medicine only become remedies. Next, underline: by producing a certain artificial morbid state, remove the abrogate the symptoms already present, to it the natural morbid state we wish to cure. Underline this up to this. Next.
On the other hand, it follows that for the totality of the symptoms of the disease to be cured, a medicine must be sought, which, according as experience, shall prove whether the morbid symptoms are most readily, certainly, and permanently removed and changed into health by similar or opposite medicinal symptoms. Has a
Underline
tendency to
this.
produce similar or opposite symptoms.
Okay. Underline similar or opposite symptoms. Now, without bracket, I am reading. On the other hand, it follows that for the totality of symptom of the disease to be cured, a medicine must be sought which has a tendency. Now, in the 6th edition, proof to have greatest tendency, that doesn't make any difference. Has a tendency to produce similar or opposite symptoms. Okay. Now, he is just giving two options. Medicine should have a tendency to produce a similar or opposite symptoms. Okay, these two options he is giving. In the footnote here discusses the allopathy. Okay, go to footnote.
The other possible mode of employing medicines for diseases besides these two, the allopathic method, in which medicines are given whose symptoms have no direct pathological relation to the morbid state, consequently are neither similar nor opposite, but quite heterogeneous to the symptom of the disease, is as shown above in the introduction.
Okay, wait here. Now underline. This is the definition of allopathy. Okay, besides these two applicable mode. Okay, there is third also, that is allopathy. Okay. No direct pathological. What is the relation between them? There, the no direct pathological relation is there. Okay, neither opposite nor similar. Although the allopathic school also uses the antipathic mode of treatment. Okay, antipathic mode of treatment is also included in that allopathic school. But allopathy, by the term Hahnemann have given, it means that there is no relation with the drug, symptoms produced by the drug, alteration of the state produced by the drug, and alteration of health in the disease. Okay, diseased individual. There is no relation, neither opposite nor similar, but it is quite heterogeneous, which Hahnemann have already discussed in introduction, which he is giving here. Okay, now here you will get a footnote that we have already discussed, that vital energy 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11th line, vital energy which is implanted in our organism so long as it is healthy to carry life in harmonious development, but not not to heal itself. We have discussed this line. This is an important line, you should underline. Okay, now in where you will get a discussion of, later on you will get a discussion of isopathy also. We will discuss that. Okay, we have skipped the discussion by chance. We have skipped the discussion on isopathy during our introduction classes. Introduction, when we were dealing with the introduction, there was mentioned of isopathy in the footnote. By chance we have missed that. We will discuss that again when we will come to vaccination. Okay, now go to aphorism number 23. Hahnemann have given two options, and the third option in the footnote, that is allopathic or heterogeneous way. Now go to aphorism number 23.
All pure experience, however, and all accurate research convince us that persistent symptoms of disease are far from being removed and annihilated.
Okay, go on, please go on.
All pure experience, however, and all accurate research convince us that persistent symptoms of disease are far from being removed and annihilated by opposite symptoms of medicines, as in the antipathic, enunciopathic, or palliative method. That, on the contrary, after transient apparent alleviation, they break forth again, only with increased intensity, and become manifestly aggravated.
Okay, that is aphorism number 58 to 62, 69, 58. Write it here. Aphorism number 7 footnote also. Okay, 7 footnote also. The 59, 65 we have discussed. 65 secondary counteraction. 59, write aphorism number 59. Okay, the bad effects of antipathy. Aphorism number 59. Aphorism number 65. Okay, and aphorism number 7 footnote. Now Hahnemann is giving two options. Okay, either opposite or similar. Okay, mode of application of your drug. Okay, in aphorism number 22. Okay, now as he reaches in aphorism number 23, he is just cutting out the opposite. Okay, he's just cutting out the opposite. Why he is cutting out the opposite? He is not considering the allopathic in the footnote and have been discussed in detail in the introduction. So he's not considering here that, but he is now in aphorism number 23. As he reached in aphorism number 23, he is cutting out the opposite. Okay, cutting out the opposite from the option. Okay, now when you will go to aphorism number 24, you will see there remains, start this aphorism start with there remains therefore no other mode of employing medicine in the disease that promises to be serviced beside homeopathy. He is now, he have cut everywhere. You will see the similar pattern in the organon. He will give options that this is the possibility, this is the possibility. Possibility number A, possibility number B. Okay, so A have this demerits with this, so cut out. and B has this merit with it. So we will go on with this B. Okay, we will go on this B, and further he will explain this B. Okay, he have given options. Okay, and everywhere you will find when he is dealing with any subject. Okay, like let me give you example of whenever he is dealing with any subject, he will cut out the shortest one first. Okay, he will cut out the shortest one first. Let me give you example. Uh, from where to give you example? Wait. Uh, mental diseases. Mental diseases. Okay. Perfect example can be seen here. He starts in mental diseases 215. He starts with the definition of mental disease. Okay, now he is giving that classification in next aphorisms. Okay, and one by one he is dealing with the mental diseases. Okay, he is dealing with the mental diseases, and those the mental disease, those kind of mental diseases which is shorter. This is not the actually perfect example. Which is shorter is coming first. Actually, I cannot correlate with this mental disease. I want to give you a perfect example for that. Means he will everywhere he will take the shortest subject first. Which is shortest, he will take it first and rule out or have discussed it, then the next shortest, then the next short, then the next longest, then the next longest, then the next longest, and the longest one will discuss later on. Okay, that is you can see in intermittent diseases where he is discussing intermittent diseases. Okay, aphorism number 31, 231. Okay, here in aphorism number 231 he is talking about intermittent diseases. Now in 232 the alternating diseases. Okay, in 233 typical intermittent diseases, as the 234 typical that non-febrile or febrile. As the intermittent fevers are the longest one, he is taking it at last. Okay, intermittent diseases started from 231. Okay, he will discuss alternating diseases, typical intermittent diseases of febrile non-febrile affections, and as the intermittent fevers are the longest, he will take it at last. Okay, this was the pattern he follows in organon of medicine. Okay, everywhere we will see during our discussion of different aphorisms how he is giving. And here in discussion to this mode of application of medicine, he is giving two options first and ruling out the two option first and ruling out in subsequent aphorism, ruling out the opposite. Now going on to similar, going on to option similar, option B, and this similar is now being discussed further in coming aphorism. So this is the pattern I wanted you to show in the aphorism. This is the pattern he is following. First he is discussing the shortest one or the option which he don't want to include. Okay, first he is discussing that. Clear? So he have given two options, opposite and similar. Now he ruled out the similar and goes on rule out the opposite and goes on to similar. Same thing you are seeing in this pattern you are seeing in intermittent disease. This pattern you will see in mental diseases to some extent where the mental disease have been discussed. Okay, so the aphorism number 23 is ruling out the similar. Aphorism number opposite. ruling out the opposite application. Okay, aphorism number 23. Now 24 onward, he is going to expound his theory of similars. Okay, aphorism number 24, which start with there remains therefore no other mode of employing medicine. Okay, but this, similar. Okay, please read it.
There remains, therefore, no other mode of employing medicines in the diseases that promises to be of service besides the homeopathic, by means of which we seek, for the totality of the symptoms of the case of disease, a medicine which among all medicines, whose pathogenetic effects are known from having been tested in healthy individuals, has the power and the tendency to produce an artificial morbid state most similar to that of the case of disease in question.
Okay, this aphorism number 24, he is introducing the applicability of similars. Okay, now go to aphorism. I think we have uh, over our time. Now, no matter, just aphorism number 25 and we will finish.
Now, however, in all careful trials, pure experience, the sole and infallible oracle of the healing art, teaches us that actually that medicine which, in its action on the healthy human body, has demonstrated its power of producing the greatest number of symptoms similar to those observable in the case of disease under treatment, does also, in doses of suitable potency and attenuation, rapidly, radically, and permanently remove the totality of the symptoms of this morbid state. That is to say,
Underline this.
aphorism 6 to 16.
Underline this. Now, pure experiences, all the pure experiences, and in the footnote, you will see that by these experience, I am not meaning those experience of modern school. Okay, that is kaleidoscopic. That is kaleidoscopic. That means ever changing experience. I am not meaning by that, but all the pure experiences. In the introduction we have read that whenever there was cure reported in the annals of history, that is because of the similarity of the medicinal agent to the similarity of the medicinal agent to the disease symptoms. Whenever the cure was reported in the annals of history, that was due to that. And there were some exceptions where the fortuitous cure was there, cure by some saint, and that those were the exceptions. But whenever the cure has been reported in the annals of history, we investigated and found that this was the similarity. Due to similarity in the China incident itself, it was evident that cinchona was able to produce similar symptoms like that of ague. That is why it was curing the ague and was treated as the specific medicine by the old school. In all pure experience, by this pure experience, Hahnemann is referring to those. Okay, next.
The whole disease present and change it into health, and that all medicines cure without exception those diseases whose symptoms most nearly resemble their own and leave none of them uncured.
Okay, so this is aphorism number 25. 26 is dealing with the nature's law of cure. We will start from here tomorrow. Any question you are having, you can ask.
Sir, can I ask a question out of context?
Okay, you can.
I want to know the meaning of desire to be magnetized. That is in
Actually, it is
accounts.
for all
Saturday
practical
card.
purpose. Yes. I got your question. For all practical purpose, desire to be magnetized means desire to be massaged. Okay, desire to be massaged. For all practical purpose, you can say that this is magnetism. This is magnetism. Okay, for all practical purpose, you can take it as desire to be massaged. Okay, what is magnetism? Animal magnetism. Animal magnetism is the this one rubbing, no, rubbing.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
rubbing, this is animal magnetism. So desire to be magnetized is this rubbing. And for the practical purpose, you can take it as massage. कोई मन करता है हमको, कोई हमको अच्छे से मसाज कर देता है. ओके डॉक्टर साहब, ऐसा लगता है हम मसाज के बाद एकदम फिट हो जाते हैं. ओके, दिस इज डिजायर टू बी मैग्नेटाइज्ड.
Okay, sir.
Clear?
Thank you, sir.
Any other question you are having?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your
Thank you,
patient
sir.
hearing.